Today we're at George Owens Nature Park to explore environmental pathways. Let's go take a look inside. Today we are at George Owens Nature Park with Jeff. Can you tell us a little bit about what George Owens is and what you guys do here?
Sure. The park, we're operated by the City of Independence Parks, Recreation, and Tourism. The park is 85 acres. The building we're in right now is our DeWitt Nature Center, and so we have a lot of our animal exhibits that are in here. Outdoors, we have hiking trails, fishing, woodlands, a lot of different variety of landscapes for people to learn about pollinators in the outdoors.
If students were to want to get involved here, how could they do so?
We have volunteer opportunities either through our programs, if it'd be a one-time program to help with, or ongoing. An example, we have volunteers that come out and help us each year. We do hummingbird feeders from about March through October, and so we have volunteers that help us fill those feeders, so we help us for a festival that we do in September. So there's a lot of different opportunities, whether you want to be, your interest is nature or art or math or science, anything like that, reading. We've done a nature story time before, so there's a lot of different volunteer opportunities. Programs that we do, our winter solstice hike, we partner with Habitat for Humanity. Fort Osage, their shop class has cut out the cutouts that way, and they've helped us with that piece. We do our Enchanted Forest program, where we partner with the city theaters and city theater group to do that program. So there's a lot of different opportunities to work with a lot of groups and involve people.
What should elementary students know about taking care of the environment?
Just that all of us have an impact on that piece, whether it's what we decide to eat, how we get to school, those kind of things. Stuff that ends up in the parking lot, the schools across the street from here, all end up down here. We're the lowest part of that watershed, so everybody has an impact on that. And
can you tell us about these aquariums behind us?
Sure. So we've got 4 large aquariums that all have Missouri native fish, and we're the only aquariums in the state that have some of the small stream fish in there. So there's some darters, different types of darters that we have in our streams, and some top minnows and things like that you would find in Missouri streams. Are really colorful fish. People just don't know that they're there, as most people are interested in catching bluegill or bass or catfish, something like that, while they're out fishing.
How important is your job with maintaining a nature park?
It's really important, specifically out here. This is the largest nature park in the Independence system, and I'm the only maintenance worker out here. So we have other crews that come in and help with really big jobs, but mostly it's just me. So any kind of like mowing or landscaping or construction jobs we have out here is me doing that. So it's pretty important. I mean, if there wasn't somebody like me out here, all of this would get overgrown pretty fast and a lot less accessible to people with the city.
How important is it to maintain native landscapes?
It's very important. The native landscape around has been dwindling, so having places like this is what keeps like the native animals and even like insects like bees and things coming back and their migratory patterns. So it's very important to maintain things like this, just so that we can continue to have like migration coming through, and even like just like bees and things like that are kind of dwindling.
What led you to this job?
I actually used to bring my family out here quite often before I got the job, and just hiking the trails and kind of being a part of this beautiful place made me want to be out here working here. I've done a lot of these kinds of things throughout my career so far, and so just being out here and finding that they needed somebody like me in a position like this, it was an opportunity I really wanted to jump on.
Can you tell us about what we're about to do?
So I'm going to cut down a tree. We have a native landscape right over here that is a meadow, so all the trees in it aren't necessary for what we are trying to accomplish here. So eventually we're going to take out most of the trees here, so we're going to take one down now.
Let's do it. Now we're with Jeremiah, who's a naturalist. Can you tell us about what you do here at George Owens?
Yeah, so I take care of the animals that we have in our nature center, and then I also help manage the 85 acres of the park. And then I also do a lot of education and outreach with kids and adults.
Could you tell us about the way students could get involved here?
Yeah, you can always reach out and see if we have any volunteer opportunities, and if you want to come out and watch the animals get fed, we feed them every Wednesday.
What type of classes would students need to take or pay attention to if they're interested in this job career?
Oh, I would definitely take a consideration into biology and any of the sciences, but then also you have to realize that science requires math, so you have to kind of take care of those math classes too.
Can you tell us about what you have in your hands right now?
Sure, so I have a tiger salamander right now, and she's pretty cool. She right now is liking to dig in the mud, stay in her little tunnels, which is kind of what they're doing in nature right now. A lot of them are hibernating for the winter, and as it warms up, the soil temperature will warm up, and then they will wake up and dig themselves out and be very hungry.
Is this something that's commonly found in this area?
Sure, yeah, these are common all throughout Missouri. Salamanders like to be in moist, watery areas, so most of the time they're going to be near ponds or lakes, streams, and rivers. What's cool about these guys is they eat a lot of our insects that are aquatic before they become adults, like mosquitoes. So it's really helpful that they're around. Hey, would you like to touch it? You just touch it like this, like right down its spine. Yeah? Good job. What's that feel like? Is it kind of rubbery?
Yes.
Yeah, really rubbery. So what's cool about salamanders is they breathe through their skin, and so their skin actually has to stay moist in order for it to have a gas exchange with oxygen. And that is why these guys are one of the most important animals to look for when you're looking at water quality, because they won't be around if there's pollution.
So we just learned about a salamander. Can you tell us about the snake that you have now?
Sure, yeah, so this is a black rat snake, which he's not very black, is he?
No.
No, he's kind of white. So he actually has a chromosomal abnormality, which he was born with, and that's why he's got these white-sided stripes and a black stripe on the back of him. In the wild, they would be black, and then their juveniles actually have diamondback patterns, which is really pretty. So, do you see his tongue coming out?
Yes.
Yeah, so he's smelling the air. That's how they actually smell. They don't have a very good nose. And so he's just smelling the air. He's saying, hey, Jeremiah's holding me. There's a microphone in my face. It's all good.
Can you tell us the difference about salamanders and snakes?
Sure, so snakes are going to be reptiles, which have scales, and then salamanders are amphibians, so they have skin. Scientists kind of classify them as naked because they just have a slimy skin on them, and these guys have like an armor protection around their actual skin, so it's pretty cool. Another cool thing about snakes is they have really poor eyesight because they basically have like lenses over their eyes. It's its own little scale, but it's kind of clear. But if anybody has glasses knows, if you go inside of a humid building, you get that humidity to build up on your glasses, you can't see. Same thing with the snake. So they can't see very well, so they use their sense of smell to hunt and see where they're going.
What are some misconceptions about snakes?
Yeah, so snakes are protected in Missouri, so you really shouldn't try to find them and kill them or anything like that. I know a lot of people say a good snake is a dead snake, but they're just misunderstood, and they actually do a lot of rodent population control for us. So one of my old bosses once said, you know, I get a lot of mice in my house that might eat my cereal, but I've had snakes in my house and they've never eaten my cereal, so I'm okay with that. You want to touch it?
Oh my gosh.
Isn't that cool? Just really soft. If you feel the sides of him, you'll feel his muscles. He's got long muscles going all around his body. And then another cool thing about snakes is a lot of people don't think they have bones, but they do. They have ribs all the way down their skeleton. In fact, you could try and count them, but you'd be here all day. So.
Can you tell me how this comes from that snake?
Sure. So snakes shed about once a month. When they're younger, they shed, once to twice a week. But basically, when they're shedding, they're doing it for a couple reasons. One, if they're wounded, they can heal that way, and their wound will get smaller. Two, if they have a parasite like a tick on them, the skin is actually inside out. So what happens is they get itchy on their nose, and they'll rub on a rock or something, and then that rock will then catch the skin, and it'll come off kind of like when you pull your sock off and it's inside out, kind of same thing.
Most people are scared of snakes and think that most of them are venomous. Is that true?
No, actually, a small ratio of snakes in Missouri are venomous. We only have about 5 species of venomous snake, and we have about 43 species total in Missouri. So very few actual species of snakes that we do have are venomous. And the ones that we do have that are venomous are somewhat rare in this area. We really only have the copperhead and the timber rattlesnake. Those two, are common in more remote areas, but you can still see them sunning themselves on a cold day out on the trails or anything like that. But if you want to identify a venomous snake versus a non-venomous snake, you really need to look at 3 things. You need to look at their eyes. So if you look at this guy's eyes, they're kind of round. Well, a venomous snake's eyes are going to be cat-like, so they're going to have a little slit down the middle. They also have a triangular shaped head, and this head is slender. It goes all the way down its body like that. See that?
Yeah.
A venomous snake's going to have a triangular shaped head like that. So just be aware of those kinds of things when you're looking at a snake. My first thing to do is say, "Oh, cool, a snake," and then I take a picture of it and I just step back, let it do its own thing, because they just want to get out of the way.